Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Zazan here, live on Zaza's TV's episode of Talk Tuesdays. And today we're going to talk about leadership from the inside out. And today my guest, Mina Vashi Moore, she is a recovery and relationship life coach, and she's also the founder of In All Foundation, which we will talk a little bit more as we talk in the show. And Mina and I met about 4 or 5 years ago at a networking event in New Jersey. And we've stayed in touch, even though we haven't gotten the opportunity to meet each other a lot of times or network with each other more often than we would like to, but we've kept in touch through social media and through the virtual shows and whatnot. So today, after I can't remember how many times we tried to get her on the show and juggling our schedule, and she is here with us today. So I'm very, very excited to have her on. For some of you who are just tuning in for the first time on ZZ's TV's Talk Tuesdays, the show that features my live conversations and interviews with thought leaders, experts, and also mission-driven entrepreneurs. And when I started the show, it's all about, mimicking the TED Talks. And I said, well, I have my own great network of thought leaders also and experts. Then I just want to call it Talk Tuesday. So we're all about conversations about leadership and also sharing empowering real life stories. And I know my guest today has one. So just a little bit of her background. So she's of Asian Indian descent, born in India. And in 1978, her father migrated to the US. And soon after the family did so, she had always been very close to her family and still shares today a strong bond with them. Now, I would say fast forward, she married somebody who was born and raised in India. And long story short, I'm going to have Mina tell her story. But here's the thing. Her background story will empower some of you out there. And that's the reason why I wanted her to join us on Zaz's TV Talk Tuesday so that she can share a little bit about her journey and also her leadership story with especially working with women and with who work with her foundation. So let me bring on Mina Vashi Moore, and I am going to bring her on. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Zeph. I appreciate the opportunity.
I was just starting to read your bio, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just let her tell herself because it's not as exciting as you listening from your own lips, right? So, Mina, it's been a while since we have been in the same room together, and I think the last time you came on the show was when I was doing Google Hangouts. Can you believe that? And people are asking me these days, what's a Google Hangout? It's come and gone, but
you're right. You're right. That is what I said. I said, what? Huh? And then you, of course, me being a little technologically challenged, but we figured it out and we had a great show.
Yes. So welcome to the show. And since we last had you on my live hangouts, the story or the episodes for Zevzez TV has changed a little bit, and we're focused more on the topic of, leadership. And I want my guests to share any kind of empowering life stories. And I'm sure you will share a little bit of your backstory. And today's topic, Mina, is about leadership from the inside out. So let's just get started and a little bit of who you are so that our audience will get to know you a little bit better.
Okay, well, I am not only the founder and executive director of In Awe Foundation, as Zeph has so warmly welcomed me to the show. There is nothing need to be said for the foundation except that you can all go to the site and visit and go from there, which is just inawefoundation.org. But more importantly than that, I think the topic of leadership from the inside out is really, if it's okay with you, I would love to share my story, which I can, I always say I have a 30-second version, then I have a
2-hour version.
I can do a 20-minute. Which version would you like? So I'm thinking we probably only may have time for the 2-minute version. So what I'm going to do is
we can get to the nuggets of the show.
Yeah, exactly, because we don't want to miss out on those in half hour. As you and I know, Zeph, it goes fast, just like that. So basically, picking up from where you left off, I was married to a gentleman, of Asian Indian descent. We did have 2 children. About 7 years into the marriage, and throughout basically from the 3 months and then into the 7th year of the marriage. It was very emotionally, physically abusive. It led to a event where things were unbearable, to say the least. I was very blessed to be able to step out of it, and I've had family support immensely. But more importantly, I've had all this unconditional love from people that basically shared not only their life experience, but told me that I no longer need to tolerate that type of behavior. Whether it was dealing with addiction or whether it was dealing with domestic violence, which I just mentioned, the first 7 years of my marriage was filled with that. I just was riddled with shame and remorse and a lot of guilt. And, oh, I've made my bed, I've got to lie in it. You know, that same old story you hear from a lot of the women or men that have been battered. But finally, I remember stepping out. And from there, what can I say? My life has truly been an amazing journey. And I've had the opportunity, fast forwarding it very much now, to work in corporate America. I've been an entrepreneur, went into corporate America, went to IPAC coaching school back in April of 2010, graduated from there, and pursued really my dream. And I did not know, but essentially I feel as though I've been placed into a leadership role, is what I'm going to say. And I think it's been a fascinating journey, because the one thing I've learned is I change more and more, and it's more and more rewarding for me to change than for me to facilitate any kind of change within anyone else. Because as I'm talking to clients, or I'm talking to someone I've met who's a volunteer or who's an intern, I'm realizing, ooh, I'm saying this, yet, could I possibly take my game one notch above where I'm at? So really, it's been exciting. It's been exciting.
I love that you talked about that, and you mentioned about sometimes it's not about the audience, it's about us.
Yeah.
And we fix it first. We make us right? And we enjoy that journey. We make sure that once we're comfortable in our own comfort zone, whatever that is, or whatever normalcy that is to us, right?
Yeah.
We take care of us first before we can even give it out to the others. So I thank you for sharing that, because sometimes we're so hard about, oh my God, I got to share this out. And you forget about yourself, right? As a leader, we need to take care of ourselves too. And I thank you for sharing that. And I thank you for opening up about your story. And I think you've done such a great job through your journey and your mission with the In All Foundation, and giving back and supporting those, those in that, abusive relationship or situation or environment, and helping them move forward, because it's not always the easiest thing to do. And the fact that you've taken this as part of your life's journey and started In All Foundation, that in itself is the true essence of a leader. So thank you for sharing that. Talking about leadership from the inside out and you sharing your story, I just want to say, do you believe that leaders are born, or, they become one? What's your school of thought?
My
in that
thought
direction
is that it's interesting when I saw the description for your show and I said thought leaders, and I'm like, that's me, because it truly was an inspired thought that I've had. And my mom reminds me, for about 10 years before I even imagined or had the courage to pursue my dream. But I kind of want to talk about the fact that it was an inspired thought that I was able to carry through and bring to fruition with, again, hundreds of people's time, energy, enthusiasm, and passion, and their in a sense, their determination to help me. Okay, but that wouldn't have happened. The way it happened is I had to put the power of the paper and pen together. Let me explain that, because when I said it to someone else, I'm working with a marketing coach now, and when I talk to her, she's like, "What does that mean?" So let me describe that. It's basically, in one word, journaling. But journaling is more about not talking about your feelings, but writing out your dreams and having that creativity flow and having it in the privacy of your home and doing it anywhere you want. Now you can do it online. So we incorporate that, and I incorporate that not only with clients, but my journey began there. I started to journal. Like we said, from the inside out, the reason for that is fabulous, because that leadership quality I had always had started to come out. people started to become attracted to my energy and my enthusiasm, which you know.
Talk about energy. We both have that energy.
Yes,
We have
we
matching
do.
energy. If
Exactly.
not, it's peaking to the mountaintop.
And look at us, look at us. I mean, we're talking both with our hands. I'm trying to resist, okay, folks? But that is not my natural. It's very difficult. I'm like Zeph. I'm like, let's go, snapping my fingers, and even my husband, God bless him. but anyway, getting back. Let me get back. So the thought leaders was one, but the way that people can, I want to bring some value to the people who are viewing this and watching this and joining us live. You have that ability to do it, folks. For those of you who are looking, you can just take a piece of paper, a pen, start with a napkin, start with a little notepad from a dollar store, whatever. Start writing whatever comes out of your heart. Next day, do it again. Do it for 30 seconds, for God's sake. Do it for a minute. Do it for 2. Do it when you're, excuse me, when you're in a private place. Okay? I'm sure you can all figure it out what I'm referring to. I'm trying to refrain from inappropriate language here. Okay, but just do it. Like Nike's commercial and their tagline. Just do it. You'll be amazed at what comes out. And from that, things started to spur in my mind, in my heart, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. There were only 2 people, Zeph, I consulted, my husband and my mom, when I first decided to begin this journey. And they're both like, sure, if that's what you want to do. And soon came aboard Kathy Lawrence, who's our executive assistant. Now we have Vakar on board, we have Sri Devi on board, and more joining. Anyway, there's awesome. Our virtual assistant, Angela, who's just joined from Vantex. So I want to give her a quick little shout out. Lots of interns in the process. So thank you.
Yes.
Everyone. Yes.
That's good leadership. It's everybody's role in it, right? Mia, just a quick thing. You might have your volume a little way up. Could you just bring it down a little bit so that, because I realized you didn't have your earpiece. But you know what? Moving forward, we're talking about all this leadership conversation. You know, what are the 3 most valuable or most important values that you think successful leaders like you admire in others, which kind of has contributed to your own success?
Well, I think one of them is the sense of courage that came, which I kind of talked about, and then the commitment that comes from that courage, which came from that journaling and that process of writing, that you start to take ownership. Oh, I said this and this is what happened, and look, it actually became a reality. The other is becoming really community centered. And what I mean by that is that didn't really happen. Let me just.
I love that you talk about community centered.
So the first is really courage. And then I would say that sense of the courage came from my energy and my enthusiasm by talking about the story and talking about my story and talking about my story to so many people that I was like, oh my God, these people like my idea. So the more I talked about it, I was like, wow, I just thought I was this girl like talking about my dream and people are really catching on. I gotta do something about it. So in that process of my enthusiasm and my passion and it just growing and growing, and by 2012, we had our first event at the Clinton Firehouse, and thank you to Mayor Janice Kovach, who's one of our board members. She's the mayor of Clinton in New Jersey. And I said to myself, okay, this is really coming together. So we have more and more supporters and sponsors coming on board, and Mercedes-Benz and in Flemington came on board, and oh my God, and it took a life of its own without my realizing I have actually made an effort to make this happen. So in 2013, which I'll go to next in a few minutes, so that was the first thing, is the courage. That got started from the enthusiasm and the energy. The second is really about confidence. My confidence began to go up and up and up.
Let me put in here, as we talk about, the number 1 was what?
It was courage.
Courage, confidence.
Courage to ask and ask for help. Just ask. Share your story. Share my why. That's what I did. I've had 2 and 3 hour conversations with people. One came on board as a board member. Another one just was so helped and pleased by what I shared that I listened to her for like 80% of the time. She started talking about the foundation to other people because she was.
There you go.
really comes from you and I, as you know, we've become confident from doing a lot of work. But more importantly, the confidence comes from trusting your intuition. How much do you hear that, Zeph? I'm sure that's been part of your journey. That
Yes.
confidence is an innate ability to just know you're making and feeling it's the right decision, and you just go. You trust and you go.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And the
And
third,
it's not overnight. It's things that you do over a period of time, repetition, and making lots of mistake, and then understanding who you are, and that's what you basically get your courage, your confidence, and then becoming those true values of a leader.
exactly. And then the third one, like I said, is, becoming willing to put in the hours, like you said, Zeph. There are so many hours that you put in behind the scenes, don't you? Right?
Yes, I do.
I
Yes,
know.
people only see the beautiful part of things, right? Or when she's on camera, or when
Oh,
she's live in her show.
that's it. And she's
Yeah, that's all they see.
such a natural, and she can talk and she can be on the TV, and she does,
Right.
on the second and fourth. Wow. Tuesday of each month.
Yeah.
Fabulous. I remember when you weren't there. Kudos to you. But you know what?
I love that you see. Wow, I feel so dated. Like I remember when you weren't there.
Exactly. But look at the progress you've made. But it's because of your sense of commitment
Yes.
to the community that you wanted
Yes.
to serve through
Yes.
Entrepreneurs That Soar. And what an amazing organization, I must say. And I thank you once again. I thank you once again for having me on. But more importantly than that, I think the fact that I knew my dream and our mission is going to help other, not just women, but also children, change their lives, teenagers. I've worked with so many different kinds of people at this point, and you realize that it's not just about anger and it's not just about addiction, but it's more about that emotion of anger that's either implicit or explicit, that exists in corporations, that exists in normal daily lives. 45% of marriages fail because of anger issues. I don't know if you know that, but I just thought I would kind of educate again, the viewers of that. And it's amazing. It makes a big difference. And sometimes it can be expressed in many different ways. So that's what it is.
It's so true. And hearing you say about all that just reminds me of when Entrepreneurs That Soar was about 5 years ago. And if I did not have the commitment that I have right now, it will not be where it is today. And like you said, people see all of that beautiful stuff, all the things that you go on camera. It's all that sexy stuff, but they don't see the non-sexy stuff, right? And all the things that leaders go through, like, oh my God, but my teeth all come out here, all my fingernails if I could, right? But the fact is that in leadership, the value of all three that you said, which were, so I'm going to put them back up on the screen here so our audience can see. So number one was the courage. If I didn't have the courage to be a leader and step up, just like you also, from non-coaching to coaching, from me not being on camera to be on camera, then if I didn't have the courage to take that first step, I will always remain stuck. And I think we all will remain stuck. And we talk about the confidence, and confidence doesn't happen overnight, folks. I'm going to tell you that. If somebody tells you, oh, you can go there confidently, you'll be okay, that's all BS. I'm sorry, but that's BS, because every skill set that we acquire along the way to get to that confidence takes a lot of making a lot of mistakes, failures, and oh my God, and oh my, and to get to the confidence level. And of course, once you've gotten all that commitment, the commitment is what carries us all through. So thank you for sharing the three important values of successful leaders that you and others out there that you've admired. And I think one of the questions I want to ask you is the fact that I know in 2013 you received your very first award from the International Women's Leadership Association. Now, when you get awards, you get you either go one or the other direction, right? You
Yep.
either go a little bit like, ooh, I'm inspired and empowered to take on bigger things, or you can just like be snooty and just not do anything about it. I'm sure you're laughing and making
I'm
no.
because I have to share the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us, from that award, what was your experience? I mean, how did you see yourself? Because I know if it was me, I would be like, wow, how can I go from here and do bigger and better things? Did that happen the same way for you? Or what was your journey like?
Now, don't be stealing my words and my line.
That's because we know each other so well. That's why.
But what you said is exactly because I'm like, ooh, I like this feeling. And it wasn't just, you know what it is? I don't think for me it was so much the award. Initially it was, I will admit.
Yeah.
Initially it was like, oh,
because I think the award is some sort of, affirmation that what we're doing is on the right track. At least for me, I see it that way. Like, oh my God, I'm spot on, Yeah.
And you know what it is? It's more of a pat on the back by an organization that's so respected. Again, like you said, the International Women's Leadership Association is located in New York City. And to be recognized by them, I was like in awe, lack of better words. I was like, oh my God, really? Like, where did this come from? How did this happen? And I didn't even know. And they kept approaching me and they kept calling. And I was like, oh, okay, well, thank you. And of course, my head was I was on cloud nine. I'm going to be honest here. Okay.
Yeah.
But it never got to me because once I shared it with my family, I shared it with, my mom, and she's like, hey, be nice, guys. Do you know what she said? She said to me, remember the community that you're trying to serve. This has nothing to do with you. It's just because you have an empowering story where you can touch other people's lives. And that was the key. And she brought it back home. And I was like, you know what? She's right. Because 2 years after that, our team got an award in 2015 from an organization called BMI Trust. So what I'm saying is these awards and these trophies and all of this is just going to be part of the process. But how you digest it, if I may use that word, how you digest that, in a sense, appreciation for the leadership really matters. I mean, my husband gave an example. It's interesting we're talking about this today because my husband gave an example and he says, he watches a lot of sports. So I'm going to, his name is Brad. So he said to me just this morning.
Hi, Brad. We're talking about you.
That's right, we are. So he said to me, the hockey players are the best, most humble people he has seen on TV, because in that strike, in that moment, it's done, it's gone, it's finished. But then after that, it's like, okay, now where do we go? So what I'm saying is my excitement, my exhilaration, my enthusiasm just went up like by 1,000% after the awards. I was like, now what's next? I want to do more. Yeah. And here I am with the last name Moore. Ha, ha, ha.
That's just a sign that you've been put in the right place, right? With the right tools to kind of move forward to be the leader in what you're doing. And I think that's just affirmation to the work that you do, to the mission that, that mission that you're on within our foundation. And I think that's just affirmation to everything and that you are, you've worked so hard to be that, and your environment is paying it for. The universe is like, oh, we see you now, Mina, we see what you're doing. And I think that's the best thing about award, that we're on the right track, that we're supposed to be doing what we're doing. The same thing with me this year. When I started on this live streaming or live video journey, I was like, okay, I'm not even sure I'm supposed to be here, but with consistency and showing up and that commitment, like you said, it's just about moving forward and knowing. So one of the things, Mina, so just for some of your information out there, hush, it was an aha moment talking about, knowing what you're supposed to do. I was like, well, how to do you, which is do your, life. And everybody was like, oh my God, that is so apropos of what you're working on. And I think when we're in our element, we tend to carry it either in that element because we know we're supposed to be doing what we're supposed to be doing, just as what you're supposed to be doing, what you're doing. So this is super awesome, super awesome.
Thank you.
So with the years that we've known each other, you've grown in your foundation, and I think I would like to think that I've grown too as a leader in what I do.
You have.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And I think as leaders, one of the things I would like to share, leadership from the inside out, is the fact that there's always going to be challenges when you least expect it.
Yeah.
But how you respond to those challenges is going to determine what kind of leader you are. Am I right? I'm having goosebumps here.
Yeah.
I'm giving goosies.
You're right. You know what?
Would you like to comment on that?
I do. You know what? I would love to go back a little bit and talk about how you said failing and how failures are no longer failures. They're an opportunity for me to move forward. So there's a book. People can Google this, and it's not mine. So I don't honestly know the author of it, but failing forward.
Yes.
Forward. It's I know for a fact, Think and Grow Rich. These are the books that changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact that we're all on our journey, but being at peace with yourself, centering yourself, taking a couple of minutes of time, even on your lunch break, when you're in the car, when you get to work a little bit ahead of time, take 2 minutes to write your dreams. The next day, take another minute. The next day, and it will and you'll be craving till the next time you have the opportunity to write. I assure you, just take that on as a challenge. So I'm going to ask as a giveaway for you and your viewers, what I want to do, and the foundation wants to do, is we want to give away 5, not just 1, not 2, not 3, 5.
Yay.
5 15-minute spot coaching sessions.
That's awesome. And how do they connect with you? Where can I send them to claim these 5 spots?
Yes. It will only be for a limited time. And what we are expecting is within 48 hours. Because that's more than reasonable in case they don't have a chance to listen to it today, or they're not watching today and they're like, oh my God, I didn't get to it, or I got to go pick up the dog, or someone is sick, or something's going on. Snowstorm, hello.
Yes.
So we figured, because of the Mother Nature, intruding a little bit, but we said, hey, like you said, leaders respond, not react.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So let's respond to this inclement weather. And I said, why don't we extend it for 48 hours? So thank you. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for the generosity too.
Absolutely.
So you folks out there, I know there's a few of them watching, folks, just to before you tell them where to go, to let you know, you are watching Zaz's TV's Talk Tuesdays. Today's episode is all about leadership from the inside out with In All Foundation, New Jersey's founder, Mina Vashimore, right here with me. And Mina and I have, networked with each other probably about 4 or 5 years ago. We met at a networking event in New Jersey. Long story short, because our energy and our vibe, we kind of vibe very well, and we thrive in that energy element. You all know that I go at 200 miles per hour. This is one gal, I'm showing this way. This is one gal who can really match it. So that's why she's on this show. But anyways, Mina has actually kindly, offered 5 coaching spots for our viewers within the next 48 hours. So that means it ends Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. And where are they going to connect with you to claim this?
We're going to keep this really simple. They can just go to the website and submit that they listened to the show and watched it or heard it or saw it on social media or through the YouTube, however it is. Just mention, hey, Pound Talk Tuesdays.
InAllFoundation.org. Correct.
Thank you.
Okay.
And you could just Google it, and we will be the only one that will come up. There it is. Thank you very much.
Right there, folks. Right there. I'm just showing right there.
and I do
have the 5 spots.
Fabulous. That would be the best way. But if they feel that they want to speak, it's really going to be better, because we don't have the ability to answer your call because we could be servicing other clients and such at that time. If you want to put up this phone number, that would be fabulous, which is 803-81, and then just the letters IN.
Okay, hang on. 803
81
81
INAWE. And they can just type in the corresponding digits.
80381 81 in all?
In awe. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
There you go. I'm going to put it up, folks. All right. So, all right. And also you can call at that number, which I will be putting up shortly if it comes out on my screen right here. There you go.
I want to just say quickly, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm looking forward to a future opportunity very soon.
Thank you for coming on, and thank you for sharing your journey and your story. And I think many people, many of you folks out there have shared the similar journey that, Nina and, your foundation and you yourself sharing your story right here on ZFS TV's episode of Talk Tuesdays. It hopefully will empower some of you out there to probably start something too, or connect with Nina, connect with her at inourfoundation.org. You never know where your next project or where your next collaboration would be. And I love to tell people, I am an avid networker when I go out there in the real world and network, but I'm a much avid networker here online too, because just from the live video streaming experience that I've done in the past year, I've met so many people who are just, awesome people. Yeah. And it has, I have connected with them in a shorter period of time. And when I look at my calendar, I'm like, I've only known you for a few months, but it feels that I've known you forever. And that's the best thing for me, at least, with the time constraint, the calendar juggling, being live right here, just take a few minutes and just get to know the other person. But again, if you enjoy our story, or if you enjoy the shows that we put up, it's all about, topics of leadership and topics about empowering real life stories. ZFS TV's Talk Tuesdays features my life interviews and conversations with experts, thought leaders, and mission-driven entrepreneurs, just like right here. And I'm pointing the wrong way. I always point the wrong way. Right here where Mina is. So, folks, Mina has, offered. She's made a great offer right here for all of you audience out there. This will end Thursday. That's in 48 hours. Claim the 5 coaching spots within 48 hours at www.inourfoundation.org, and just write in the comments in the contact form, where you heard about the offer, and connect with her. This is a great opportunity, folks. Thank you, Mina. Thank you so much for coming on board. Thank you for saying yes to be a guest on our show on ZFS TV. And I will see you in the next adventure that we both will be on.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, folks, that's been the episode of ZFS TV's Talk Tuesdays, and today's topic was leadership from the inside out with In All Foundation New Jersey's founder, Mina Vashi-Moore. And be sure to check our shows on 2nd and 4th Tuesdays. And if you would like to be on our show, be sure to connect with me at facebook.com. So I'm going to put it right here, facebook.com/entrepreneurs. This is so much easier, folks, to get me on social media. And I'm going to put that right on the screen so you can connect with us on Facebook, on social, right there. And be sure to facebook.com/entrepreneurs. That's where all our live shows go out to. And be sure, if you want to be a guest on my show, send us a message to the contact button, and we will try to get you on the show. Well, folks, thank you for watching. This is Zafzan, your host for ZFS TV's Talk Tuesdays. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.